that this is the world's cutest national champion. These are two teams that had two of the worst losses in college football playing for the national title, one of them being a two-loss team, and they will be the first two-loss national champion in the playoff era. So I'm really glad for him. Ryan Day, you've earned that lifetime contract, and please, whatever you do, keep losing to Michigan. Ohio State fans will try to tell you it doesn't matter.
We're live. We're actually live. If you're listening right now,
literally live.
We're literally live right now. We're going to be responding to chats and stuff. We're recording right now, live streaming on Twitter, YouTube, X, whatever you're listening. Right now, the last couple minutes of this national title game. Ohio State's about to seal it. Second goal, 1:56 left on the clock, Dylan. Notre Dame, 23. Ohio State, 31. All Ohio State has to do is not fumble the ball, kick a field goal, and Ryan Day is going to be a 2025 national champion. Dylan's getting ready to put the crown on now.
You know who else is a national champion, though, Carter? The Michigan Wolverines, because guess what? If you can't beat them, you can't beat them. That's what I got to say. Can't beat them, you can't beat them, especially as a 3-touchdown favorite. I'm not going to wear this the whole time because it doesn't fit over the headphones, but you think of Ohio State's season, and again, I am on record saying that this is the world's cutest national champion. These are two teams that had two of the worst losses in college football playing for the national title, one of them being a two-loss team, and they will be the first two-loss national champion in the playoff era. So I'm really glad for him. Ryan Day, you've earned that lifetime contract, and please, whatever you do, keep losing to Michigan. Ohio State fans will try to tell you it doesn't matter, but we got that Columbus Dispatch article that says otherwise.
We've talked about this on this live stream, though. The problem is look, the rivalry game is huge and everything between Michigan and Ohio State fans, but in reality, you want to win a national title. That's why you play this game. That's why I'm sorry, I don't necessarily care about the rivalry. National title here, rivalry here.
And that's, again, you don't live it. Like, I am a Michigan fan
live in Ohio. Michigan.
I'm a Michigan fan that lives in Ohio. I have to deal with every year. If Ohio State beats Michigan, I deal with it. And if they don't, then I get to give it to them. And I usually am pretty generous about that. Kevin says, what team winning would you have not called it the world's cutest? Kevin, anybody, well,
Oregon?
There were no other two-loss champions. So everybody except Ohio State. No one else had two losses, right? Clemson?
No.
Clemson
had two losses. Penn State had two losses. Texas had two losses. Oregon was undefeated coming in.
Yeah, two-loss champion, you were the world's cutest national champion because it's never happened before. In the playoff era. There's a lot of people trying to dunk on me online in the playoff era.
And if you're watching the podcast or listening right now, post live stream, we're also reading chat on the live too with 1:13 left in this game, third and goal. Ohio State's about to seal this with a field goal or a touchdown maybe.
Oh, yeah, maybe a touchdown.
We're watching it live right now.
Will Howard, keeper.
Another handoff. Lost yards there. That's a tough spot for a field goal, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. That's kind of where Mitch Jeter missed his field goal a little bit earlier. But Kevin says the game matters, but losing the game doesn't make the Natty worthless. I think he nailed it.
Kevin, I think you're completely wrong.
Of course. And then you want to read some other chats from Gray.
From Gray, I'm missing it. Behind the scenes, did leaving Smith in single coverage do more harm to the Catholics
than the 97 thesis?
That's a good point. That's probably a mistake. And I think we even called it. We saw that coming. Jeremiah Smith down in single coverage. 29 seconds left, 28 seconds left. They're going to kick a field goal here. Huge for the cover. We need either a miss or for Notre Dame to do something funny here at the end. But Kevin, I would disagree. If you don't beat your rival at the end of the year, and it's more important now than ever that we hold true to that. Now that the playoff is expanded, anybody can get in. If you just file a form at the right time, you can get into the playoff. I think it's now more than ever we need to make sure we understand the rivalry is that important.
Michigan couldn't get into the playoff.
Michigan could not, but you could argue they are the hottest team in football right now.
Took a pause there on the podcast real quick. Ohio State nails the field goal. They're up 11 right now. You need a miracle for the backdoor cover for Notre Dame plus 8.5, but this one's wrapped up. Ohio State are your 2025 national champions, Dylan.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I'm really happy for him. I mean, this is something you've dealt with so much trial and tribulation. Jack Sawyer comes back to Ohio State with the sole goal. That's it, the sole goal to beat Michigan, and he can't do it. Mr. Owen, I'm glad that he gets to head into the NFL with something because he was not able to accomplish his goal. And then you kind of feel happy for Ryan Day. You feel like he has job security for life. After winning a national championship, it's going to be hard for anybody to want to boot him out of town until, of course, he loses to Michigan again next year. But awesome stuff. I'm happy for him.
For anybody that said it was natty or bust, he won the natty. There's nothing you can argue there.
Yep.
And next year, Michigan's bringing in Bryce Underwood and a lot of talent coming in the portal as well. I don't think it's going to matter too much. I think Ohio State's going to be just fine.
I love it. I hope you keep thinking that, Carter, because everybody did this year too. I love it. I love it.
Well, they were fine. They were fine. They won the national title, Dylan.
What I would do, well, I don't know. I mean, you complete one of your 3 goals, right? Beat Michigan, win the Big Ten. You finish 4th in the Big Ten and win a national championship. You crossed one of them off. It's good. No, I'm like, I think maybe people are misunderstanding this. I am so happy for Ohio State. Like, it's kind of a rivalry again. Like, it was starting to not be a rivalry, and now next year when we play, it's the last 2 national champions getting to play, and I'm thrilled. I'm happy for him.
Dylan,
look at Ryan Day. Uh-oh.
We got a last play. They lied to us. All right. That's game. Ohio State national champs, 34-23 final. Change the score graphic on there because that's going to show up on YouTube after. Ohio State national champs. What does this mean for Notre Dame? We've talked a little bit about Ohio State so far. What does this mean for Notre Dame? Like, are you that upset if you're a Notre Dame fan, or is this a pretty successful season? Because I think the low of losing to Northern Illinois at home, I don't think you're obviously you're upset you lost the national title game, but I don't think you're severely depressed. You're like, you know what? This was an incredible season.
It honestly probably depends when you ask a Notre Dame fan. Like, if you ask them after that Northern Illinois loss, you're probably saying that this is a win.
Right now, 3 seconds after the title game ended.
Yeah, but I mean, does anybody? Their path, they had what? Indiana, Penn State, Georgia. I mean, I think you have to be happy with this, and I understand it's not ideal, but you got a young gun head coach, made a couple goofy decisions, I guess, but you end up here, and it's not bad for Notre Dame.
Not bad.
Go ahead and turn that off.
Yeah, but Ohio State national champions, Dylan. Is this Michigan's title?
Huh?
Is this Michigan's title still?
Oh my gosh, yes. You didn't beat us, right? You didn't beat us. We're the reigning national champions. I say, and now here's the real question. And I asked you this during the live stream, but I want to get it for the recording. When they do the championship shirts, trust me, I know plenty about championship shirts. I have plenty of them from last year. They put the scores on the back of all the games. When they do that for Ohio State, do they leave off the Michigan game?
Yes.
I think maybe put up the scoreboard and like an X through it or something like that, like they do with the M's all throughout campus and stuff.
No, it's going to just be the playoff bracket. I said that during the live stream. It's going to just be the playoff bracket. They're not going to put up regular season stuff. We'll see the shirts here in a minute. Or they might just not have a back at all on them, and it might just say national champions.
National champions? I think the bracket is probably what they do, and they'll do some branding like first 12-team
winner.
Yeah, something like that. I think that's probably what they do. That's a good point. I think that's probably right.
I think that's what happens. But what would you grade this college football season, 1 to 10?
I would give it an 8.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
We had some great moments. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It's hard to pick out
awesome
specific moments.
Like, look, you can complain about the 12-team playoff. I think so many things were awesome about it because think about that Ole Miss Florida game at the end of the year. Like, no one would have cared. Like, no one would have given a single crap about that. Colorado, Kansas. That game would have never mattered in a million years. But this year, it was so important for Big 12 college football playoff because if Colorado wins that game and they go and beat Arizona State in the Big 12 title game, all of a sudden we're talking about Colorado versus Texas. That would have been a great game.
And that's, I think, the expanded college football playoff, this is going to be the conversation that gets had. There's obviously some flaws. There's, like, the seeding is an issue. The automatic buys are an issue. Those are things that are going to work itself out. But as a whole, it's been a positive thing. And you're right. Games that normally wouldn't mattered this year. And you can still lose games and make the playoffs. And it turns out in this case, as much as I want to give Ohio State credit, or as much as I want to give them crap, they were the best team, and in a previous playoff, they would not have been in it. And this year they were in it, and they got to prove that they would win it all. And they are the world's cutest national champion. It's a great season.
We talked about that all season long before the season when the playoff got announced, and even on the live stream today where it was Ole Miss, Penn State. This is who's going to, the playoff is going to benefit them most. In reality, it might just be benefiting the original blue bloods of college football, the Ohio States, the Alabamas, the Georgias, because now they have more margin for error, yet they're still probably the most talented teams in the field.
Yeah, and they can drop a game or two and still be fine. I think that's the biggest thing to take away here, and we can argue if that's a good or a bad thing. If you want to see the best teams win, I think it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I think it is too. Anything else you want to touch on?
Game overall, what'd you think? It was a little slow there at the end of the first half, beginning of the second half when Ohio State scored that touchdown on their first possession, but a little late theatrics.
That was the best title game since Georgia-Bama?
Really?
With Bryce Young?
I guess that was only 4 years ago, right?
Because last year was terrible, Michigan-Washington. The year before that was Georgia-TCU. That was terrible. And then the year before that would have been Georgia-Alabama, and Bryce Young kind of kept it a game. But this game was more entertaining than that one, I think.
Yeah, and like I said, there were lulls, but at the end, the kicking the field goal was shocking. That was an absolute,
that's going to be talked about. I can't believe we didn't even mention that yet. The fact he kicked the field goal, missed it right there. Look, the miss is one thing, whatever happens. I don't really necessarily care about it. But the fact, Dylan, they kicked the field goal on fourth down, on 4th and goal, and they were down 16 points. They kicked a field goal in the fourth quarter. That is mind-numbing stuff from Marcus Freeman. That is Packers versus Bucks-esque bad. That is 10 men on the field bad. That is horrific stuff. You got to go for it there. You got to go for it. And I don't even care, he missed the field goal, 20/20 hindsight. What, you make it a 13-point game at that point?
Yeah, you'd go from 16 to 13. I think the only argument you would make was you wouldn't have to go for 2 twice. You'd be able to just kick extra points, but you would still need 2 more drives, on top of the field goal.
You're still 2 possessions down.
Yeah, you're still 2 possessions. I think the argument would be you wouldn't. I guess the only way you could rationalize it would be you wouldn't have to convert the 2-point conversions, which wouldn't make sense because you'd have to make 2 more drives instead of just 1 more if you get the touchdown on the 4th.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was wild. It was a wild decision.
Who played between Riley Leonard, Will Howard? I think they both played great games.
They both played great. They both had their fair share of misses. Will Howard missed G. Scott in the flat late. Riley Leonard missed his fair share of guys.
He missed Jeremiah Smith.
But both got he had 3 yards of separation on the defender.
No, in the flat on that one play, the third down. G. Scott was in motion. Jeremiah Smith went out into the flat, and he missed him.
It wasn't G. Scott? Or is that another play I'm missing?
No, I think it's the play you're thinking of, but G. Scott was in motion.
Okay, that's my bad. I thought it was G. Scott.
Yeah.
They both played well. They both had times where they made bad throws. I think Riley Leonard was better on the ground, especially in that first possession. But I think ultimately it comes out to a net neutral. I think they both played pretty well.
Yeah, I don't think that was the difference in this one. I just think it was execution in the red zone and making your possessions count, and that was the difference here. And Connor talked about this too in the preview. Connor and I did, where the weapons for Ohio State were going to be the difference in this one. And guys like Jeremiah Smith, Judkins, Travion Henderson, that kind of separated them over Notre Dame in this one. And it proved to be in the end. And national title. Congrats, Dylan. Money moves from Jack.
What, Jack, hey, the one thing they say about Dylan, I never lose. No matter what the outcome is, I never lose.
I
never
love it.
lose. We're looking at 10 years of Michigan dominance now if Ryan Day sticks around.
I know.
I love it.
Real quick, we'll wrap up the podcast section of this, and then we can wrap up the live stream if you want. Brian Valderez tweeted out, dead.
Oh.
By the way.
Just dead?
Just dead.
Is he Notre Dame fan?
He's a Notre Dame guy.
I thought he was UCLA.
I thought he was UCLA too. Is he Big Cat?
No, I think his girlfriend might be Notre Dame. I can't remember. But a huge season. If we're wrapping up here, I do have to ask one question, and maybe I can pull this up before I ask. National champion next year. What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
obviously way too early.
Yeah, way too early. 2026 national title picks. You give me yours first.
The homer pick would obviously be Michigan, but I don't know who's going to be doing the quarterback situation, if it's going to be Bryce Underwood to start or whatever. I kind of want to go back to the well with Oregon. It would depend who they go get in the portal, but I like Dan Lanning. I would go Oregon.
You know who's winning the national title next year?
BYU?
I wish. Hook 'em, baby. Arch Manning and
Wow.
the Texas Longhorns are winning the national title next year. Steve Sarkisian beats the 2Q allegations. He gets his 7-year deal. Steve Sarkisian, this Texas team, they're going to set up Arch very well with weapons on the outside, and I love Texas. Give me Texas to win the 2026 national title.
Can I add an asterisk, though, on the 7-year extension or whatever? He was already under a 6-year contract. They just added 1 year to that.
It's not on top?
I don't think so. That wasn't my understanding. I could be wrong. Maybe
Okay.
Nash or Ghost of Texas Football can clue us in there.
Yeah,
but I
maybe
thought
they
it
can help
was
us
he
out.
had a 6-year, and they just made it a 7-year and revised his pay. I'm trying to find odds real quick. I'm getting there, I promise.
No, you're good. Take your time. We're wrapping up the podcast section of this one right now. We're still live on YouTube and in the chat right now. Dylan, you must have seen the odds.
Carter, you want to be – oh, my gosh. You want to be devious right now? They already have game lines out for next year.
No way.
Iowa, Kansas State, August 23rd. Michigan, Ohio State's already up.
Ohio State 6.5.
Ohio State 9.5. 9.5. That's not factoring in the Ryan Day extension, though. That line will go down once they announce the Ryan Day contract.
Are you going to bet that right now?
No, not right now. Not before I know who the quarterback is. I can't. That's not responsible of me. You said Texas? Wow. Texas and Oregon both tied for the second favorites at plus 650. Ohio State's the favorite.
Ohio State's the favorite.
You know what? Sorry. Let's go.
That's interesting. Here we go. We're on FanDuel right now. Notre Dame is high.
Notre Dame 12-1. Alabama 16. Tennessee 18.
Who's the long shot?
Michigan's
you like?
30. Michigan's 35. They were 50 when I texted you like 2 weeks ago, weren't they?
You know who's a long shot I like? Keep scrolling. Oh, man. I have a long shot I really like in this list.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, get Carolina out of here. Give me the Cougs plus 13,000. No, genuinely, I have a team I do like, Dylan.
Okay.
The Florida Gators at 50 to 1.
I don't hate it with Lagway.
You get a quarterback
50 to
returning.
1.
Billy Napier's not, wondering if he's getting fired after every game. I don't like Miami. I am fading everything Miami next year with Carson Beck.
Yeah, same. I am not looking that way. Well, let's take a look at some other ones
Lenora
here.
Sellers at South Carolina. That's going to be a sexy pick.
40 to 1. I don't hate that. Lenore Sellers, Texas A&M I'm guessing it's going to be Reed.
If they get a good quarterback in at A&M, then that's a spicy one as well. Keep going up, like towards the favorites. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see. If you're listening on podcast right now,
We're
then
yeah,
it's not
scrolling
great
through the
podcasting. We're just
odds.
scrolling through the odds on
This is
FanDuel
the
right
top.
now. Penn State's not a bad shout because Drew Aller coming back, but like, do they have a ceiling with Aller? You've got Alabama, who's going to be the quarterback there. Tennessee with Nico. That's actually an enticing pick, too. If you think Nico can turn it around, because they probably don't have Heisman picks out, but I would imagine Nico's probably one of the favorites for Heisman next year, for being honest.
I would have to think, especially after his performance against Ohio State, even though it wasn't great, he was pretty good on the ground.
I think he's 15 or 1 or less.
Is that Dylan or LeVar Ball, Jack says. Buddy. Buddy, you know.
So
Jack.
does that make Ohio State fans Jello, Lonzo, and LaMelo?
I would think you would have to. Before we get done with this, can I share a tweet? A very interesting tweet. If you don't follow Michael Greer from Barstool, a very great poster on X. Yeah, let me go stop and let me share another window.
And then we'll wrap up.
Let me make
the
sure
podcast
it's
segment.
safe for. Okay, I think it is.
If it's not, I can always cut it out. I guess not on live.
For the audio listeners, congratulations to Ohio State's largest donor, Leslie Wexner, who largely funded Jeffrey Epstein's blackmail operation, and Ohio State superfan LeBron James, who once said, quote, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party," end quote, on the national championship. I think that's a great place to end it. Congratulations, Leslie Wexner. Congratulations, LeBron James. Hey, you ever heard the song I Know Victoria's Secret by Jax? He's an old man who lives in Ohio preying on girls like me. I'll sing it.
No, you don't have to.
Well, the song is about Leslie Wexner, the founder of Victoria's Secret, who objectifies women to sell lingerie. But anyway, congratulations, you Buckeyes, baby. You named buildings after that guy, by the way. Let's go, Bucks. I love it. This next college football season may be the most fun that we've ever had, Carter.
So people buying underwear and lingerie is paying for Ohio State's football team.
So we're saying it's not so much buying the lingerie, it's the objectification and the unreal beauty standards for women.
Okay. All right. There
Yep.
you go. Well, there you have
Yep.
it. That's it for the podcast section of this. We can maybe stick around for a couple minutes. But anyhow, download SeatGeek, use code CarterCast, $20 off your first purchase. Like and subscribe. That puts a bow on the college football season. Great college football season. We had some fun times, Dylan. We had some fun times. So great college football season. NFL stuff is going to continue. We got a ton of fun college basketball and NBA stuff. So tune into that. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.